So I've been hearing a lot on YouTube about educated lames and they're not inserting themselves in the black. Nobody's actually asked the question, why haven't anybody built anything for the Keishas or the Keishas in the hood? Why are these big booty black women not protected? Why are these black women that we so love, that curved us when we were young, as the black women say, in their 25s and 30s, not married, have multiple kids, have multiple baby daddies? Why are we mad at them and not checking for them? Why is Keisha at 15 more desired than the Keisha at 25? Why is the Keisha at 35 bitter? Why is the Keisha at 45 not respected? In this episode of Get More Live, we're going to be looking a little bit in depth into the Lakeishas of the hood. So Lakeisha started out as a semi-attractive female. Like all black women in the hood, they have their pros and their cons. And like all black males in the hood, we all chase females. But here's when the black males leave the hood, go to college, go to the military, go to trade school, go to all these places other than the hood, their environment changes. Keisha from the hood no longer looks like she's a viable option. So usually when a black man comes back from college or wherever he goes off to prove himself, he comes back to Keisha with at least one child. She still looks semi-good. She's in her mid-20s, but that child is by a Pookie or Ray Ray. Now this brother has a decision to make. He's a childless man on his way up, and he has his options of going to any woman without a child. Why would he choose Keisha? And this is the idea that black women don't understand. Keisha is not wanted anymore. Her wound is not valued once she gives it up to the Pookie and Ray Rays. Their argument that black men as a collective don't build, what would you build for a single mother? So let's just say Keisha doesn't have a child, but she's been ran through by 2-3 D-boys. And she has a mentality of get money, fuck niggas. Is that a good idea to fuck with a woman that has nothing to lose? Is that something that you can build a patriarch out of? Is your options to make Keisha a good woman by marrying her or putting a kid in her? No, most brothers start looking at their careers, and Keisha is in the background. Keisha has more options because she's in the hood and don't have any kids, but she starts displaying a pathology of the normal hood rat. Now the educated lame is focused on his career, but he's not checking for where Keisha is at all times. Keisha thinks that, oh, he's a simp or a dummy. I can basically have 2-3 dudes, a Mr. Goodbar and a beta male provider, and try to get all the resources she can from the educated lame, as if he doesn't understand the game. The educated lame is more of a trad-con than most of the conservative black males out there. He believes that a woman actually has some type of virtue, and that's what starts his downfall. What virtue can you get from somebody that watches a man sell poison to another man and then accepts the money? What virtue can you get from a woman that look at all men the same, no matter if you're killing other black people or not building for other black people? When you see no difference in a man, how can you be a good judge of a man? Why is it that at 25, Keisha is not married, even though she's had more than her share of men choosing her? Now, if we look at the way the hood works, we would see that it's basically a black market. Men use stolen or drugs at a very high markup to sell to other men. So their money comes quicker because they're not producing anything, and at the same time are delivering a service to the black community. Why pay for a 50-inch screen that costs $1,000 when you can get it from the boost man who paid $0 for it and is going to give it to you at $500? Keisha made a decision. Rather than sit there and work with her brother who is on the up and coming, she decides to work with the brother that gets money fast. Would you rather be in a Chevy Malibu or would you rather be in a foreign? Keisha says that, hey, when looking at all things are being equal, one person has more money than each other. Keisha decides that I'm going to stick with the man who makes the most money and ride it out until the end. And if it doesn't work out, I know the government itself can come and bail me out. Provide me with a home, Section 8, food, the SNAP, food stamps, and child support if I want some extra spending cash. The whole mindset of Keisha is not to raise children. Children are a prop to Keisha. That's why you will see in most ratchet or hood videos that the kids are the worst person in the videos. Keisha cares nothing about motherhood. Motherhood is an excuse to get resources. When you come to Keisha and tell her that, hey, your kids are erratic, slow, misbehaving, Keisha makes excuses. It's never her fault her kids are problems. She can't control them. They can do whatever they want. Always wondered about the mindset of Keisha. Why would she throw away her life like it has no value? Until I start to understand more and more about female nature. Keisha's building a nest, and any man who's stupid enough to supply her with sperm is basically her bankroll for her nest. And always knowing that she can always get Big Daddy government to supply resources for the kids, she will always have a place to live. Now, this hustle has been going on in the black community for the last 20 years. It's been destroying all black communities around the United States. And when the educated lame says, Keisha, you need to stop this, they come and deflect with, you haven't built any communities where I can be at, where I would be safe, even though that these communities would turn out like most black communities where Keisha would protect her womb and basically have children with any man that will provide her resources. When black men start to actually build and come with resources to any community, you become a mark for Keishas out there. The shame tactics that they use to make you think that they're still valuable to a man. How many times have you seen black women twerking on videos with kids in the room? This is not to say that black women have bad ideas about how to seduce men, but at the end of the day, these videos show a dysfunction that you should look at as a viable candidate for your seed. Black men have started to wake up and understand that these Keisha are not viable options for wives, mothers, or even custodial parents. But that leads to another question. How did Keisha become the norm of black female behavior? How did black women let Keisha assert herself so that she's the model for every other black woman? How come Keisha can get on Instagram half naked in lingerie and no black women say, this is not what I want to teach my daughters? The answer is simple. Black women want resources. And if Keisha's getting the most resources, black women will copy what Keisha's doing. There's no two ifs or buts. If Keisha can get a house, a new truck, and it's all dealt on how she twerked on the video one night or how slutty she looked. They got men to pay for those things. Of course, women are going to emulate Keisha. You can hear it in some of the educated women's mouths. I'm a hustler. You have 5 degrees, but you're a hustler. You have to pay me if you want me to do something. Put 5 on. All these things are basically hood rat terminology spoken by educated. But there is one thing that black men can do is reject it. Reject all Keishas everywhere. This has to be a collective event. This can't be 10% of black men saying, Keisha, no. We have to turn off the water faucet to get these women to act like we want them to act. As black men, it's not going to be more the same in 2007. What we need to do is start saying, this is our standard. These are what we are looking for in women. And if you don't meet these standards, then we will not fuck with you. We already know that there's going to be some men that just can't get laid and they will pay overpriced for any type of affection from women. But at the end of the day, we have to live with that. And when they say, well, there's no difference between you or him, I'm going to say, yes, there is. He puts up with your bullshit. I expect you to do something better. And I'm willing to not fuck with you to get you to do better. Black men have to make sure that Keisha's only option is the street dudes. Not one like on their pics, not one comment post. They're not down with our program. We ignore them at all costs. They don't exist. And this is where it gets really real. We need to start teaching ourselves history, not ancient Egyptian history, not history that doesn't pertain to our current situation, but real history. Why the Black Panthers were made. Who were the leaders of the Black Panther? Because as the narrative goes now, black women are saying they're all street dudes. The street dudes have led them into a fuck ditch, and they're willing to follow them straight to hell. And they're begging for us to come back and give them some release from that fire. We have the best bargaining chip as it is. They want us to help, but they're going to have to pay our price. We don't build because they ask. We build. We have to support each other. I understand when black men get money, we start to act funny. But at the end of the day, we're so disconjointed that black women can basically pick us off one by one. We don't support each other. So at the end of the day, black women can basically do whatever they want. They can dox us, make us lose our jobs, because there is nobody coming to save us. This is not me saying, oh, donate to my Patreon or like my videos. This is me telling you that we have to vote with our money. If we vote with our money, more people will follow us. But at the end of the day, if we don't vote with our money, nothing will happen. Whatever you say about the Lakeishas in the world, they spend money on shit they want. There's so many people out there that's getting money from straight using them for whatever little resources privilege they have to make them feel better about their whole life. Black men need to start saying, wait, we need to start supporting ourselves. That means that when black men start businesses, they need to shop at those businesses. When black men start companies, you need to be a part of that company. When black men start think tanks, you must be able to bring something to the table other than religion. This is the cause. This is It More Live.